Right, thank you for registering, and I'm now delighted to share with you that the European tropics are in fact the Cape Verde Islands. So where are the Cape Verde Islands? Well, they're actually off the coast of Africa. They're an archipelago of 10 islands, and the main one I'm going to be talking to you about today is the island of Sal. It's a lovely unspoilt location, 10 islands, as I say, in the Atlantic Ocean, about 450 kilometers off the coast of West Africa. They're south of the Canaries, about 1,000 kilometers north of the equator, and they're the nearest tropical islands to Britain on the same latitude as Barbados, and that's why the weather is amazing. And they're only a 5.5-hour direct flight from Gatwick, which is an awful lot closer than the Caribbean. And because you're going north-south rather than east-west, there's no jet lag. So it's a perfect tropical climate, virtually on our doorstep, and largely undiscovered. Some of the best beaches in the world, as you can see, crystal clear waters, and it's not some tin pot banana republic. It's a stable country with a very switched on government that wants to develop, but in a sensible and controlled way. They've got their own currency dating back to their times as a Portuguese colony, which they were until 1975. It's called the escudos, which you probably remember as being the old Portuguese currency. It's linked to the euro, but also, you know, it has the double benefit that it could always be unlinked from the euro. So they have the benefits of the stability that comes from linking to the euro. But if there ever was some kind of massive euro meltdown, they can just declare UDI and go back to having their own currency. It's getting more popular. Expedia voted it in their top 5 most popular destinations for the last 3 years, and the Lonely Planet said it's in their top 3 must-see destinations. So what we're getting here is something that's really on a steep upward curve in terms of becoming better known, better liked, and in strong demand, which from an investment point of view, of course, is absolutely key. Tourism's rising by more than 20% a year for 7 years now, so it really is on a very steep curve, and the government is predicting 1 million visitors within the next 3 or 4 years. Most of those come from the UK, Italy, Germany, Scandinavia, Belgium, France, as well as Iberia. So a really good spread across many countries. Not too many Americans, though. And Sal Island, which is what I'm focusing on at the moment, receives the most visitors. It accounts for about 2/3 of the visitors and 2/3 of the GDP of Cape Verde. It's an island that's about 30 kilometers long and 12 kilometers wide, first discovered by Portuguese seafarers back in the 15th century. The name Sal actually does mean salt, and there are salt mines on the island up there in the northeast at Pedra de Lume. Santa Maria is the main resort, located down there in the south, and on average there are a mere 350 days of sunshine a year on Sal Island. It's getting very much more popular now. There's 60 direct flights a week. International airport. Would you believe the airport's actually big enough for the space shuttle to land there? It was originally developed and paid for by NASA as a sort of neutral place if they needed to land the space shuttle. So you've got a great big air runway there. The infrastructure is gradually developing. I would say it is, to be fair, it's still a work in progress. You know, this is not as mature as some of the more established European resorts, but that's another reason why we're getting in at this point to benefit from that growth, both in terms of high occupancy rates for hotel, but also potentially capital growth as well. So there are hotel operators entering the market now, but the government will only allow buildings up to 3 floors maximum. There'll be none of these high-rise blocks that we've seen blighting the costas in Spain. They've learned all of those lessons. They're not going to repeat them again. And our developments are down here on the southwest of the island, so we get all those lovely beaches, we get all the sunshine and the temperatures, but we are slightly protected from the trade winds that come into the east coast from Africa, which generate some amazing windsurfing and kite surfing opportunities, but the actual developments are on the other side of the island, protected from all that. So as far as I'm concerned, in summary, Cape Verde is an undiscovered gem of a location. It's just starting to reach this stage of massive growth in tourism, but the developments are going to be controlled, so this is not going to go crazy like Spain. It's a stable country, there's no issues of land ownership or anything like that, and it's accessible. It's just 5 and a bit hours from Gatwick, so it's what you might call a medium haul flight. It's not a long haul flight, so it's a really, really interesting country. I didn't know it existed until very recently, and the more I look into it, the more I think this is what I've been looking for. Guaranteed sunshine, virtually on the doorstep, without the tropical storms and hurricanes, without the long haul flights, without the jet lag. This really is an idyllic place. So let me tell you more on the next video about the specifics of our development.